intro tonight because we are broadcasting on 2 additional social media sites. So, hello, everyone out there. Welcome to Extreme Bronco Live. I greatly appreciate you being here. If you see me look off this direction, it's because we have our my cell phone going with Instagram Live going. So, and by the way, if you want a different view of this, you can head over to Driven Wild Outdoors on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. That's awesome. So, anyway, thank you, everyone. We're going to go through the chat. You give me just a little bit of room here. You know this young man, right?
Hello. Sorry,
what are you up to?
Chair was scooted that.
Huh?
My chair was scooted that much.
Here we go. Bob Masters, good evening. Brandon Richard, what's up? What's going on? Dirk Connor, thanks for joining us, Dirk. I appreciate you coming over here. Michael Cooper, what's going on? And let's see. Wow, that's pretty cool there. Bronco 78, thanks. Just chatting with you here on Instagram. So, like I said, once again, we have Instagram going to my right. I guess that's how it looks to there. It's getting complicated, isn't it? Mm-hmm. We need to try to figure out a way to do it here. We have some news tonight. We're going to jump right into it. Justin Zimmerman, what is going on? Hey, Justin, you know this hat, right? You look familiar? I had to wear it. I'm not able to brand anything Bronco on our gear. So Gavin has some news tonight. You want to tell him your dude's finally done? The art? Everything's ready to go on the shirts?
Yep.
So go ahead and tell him a little bit about Squatchy.
You didn't even show me yet.
I didn't?
No.
Come on, man. You've seen the finished product. Okay, well, my apologies. I thought Gavin we approved the final. So there was this whole back and forth about we needed a little mascot. And so we wanted sort of the fun twist, cool on Sasquatch, something that wouldn't scare the kids. And also something that Gavin could write into a book, and he could write a kid's book. I mean, what better than a kid writing a kid's book, right? And so if this dude was scary and, scared the little kitties around, that wouldn't be cool. So,
Andrea, thank you.
Hello, Andrea. What is going on?
Super chat.
Look at there. Andrea, you know what? You're awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And we saw Andrea at the local Coastal Virginia Auto Show, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And by the way, we have some big news on that too. Not to cause a problem, but I have to gag. Oh.
Don't be mean.
Yeah. Come on.
Let's all be nice around here.
Brandon, what's up?
Family friendly channel.
And by the way, if you're wondering what we're talking about on Instagram, head over to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And hello, let's see. North Shore Bronco, what is going on? Hey, we are live over on YouTube if you want to check us out. Who's that? The bottom one? Syntax Broncos. What's going on? Welcome. And Bronco Doc 21. We said hello earlier. But yeah, so we're doing our live here, and Gavin and I want to jump right into the comment. I do want to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Andrea, thank you once again for that super chat. And by the way, if you're watching, we do heavily depend on super chat, super stickers. It's really cool stuff. Let's get right into the content because we don't want to lose anyone. Let's see. Becky's install video. So we have to present something. While I get this set up, would you like to talk to everybody on IG and YouTube about what you've been up to?
All right. So, been just, me and my dad have been talking about. Wait, have I? Am I allowed to tell them about the thing?
What thing? Huh?
The 1 feet.
Yes, but not who. You can't give the details away yet. You know how that stuff works. Well, you don't know how it works. I'll tell you after the show how it works. Anyway, Gavin, have some news for you. Go ahead, Gavin.
I'm getting a 1 feet razor instead of a new 4-wheeler because I'm not growing mine. And special someone is going to put a
custom cage.
This is disclosed information, by the way. Top secret. A special someone is going to put a as you would say, roll cage, but you know me, I'm not going to roll it. But
now, can we tell Gavin? All right, so Gavin was on his 4-wheeler, and he, had all of his safety gear on. Mm-hmm. Everything was good. We were at an organized track, and Gavin rolled his 4-wheeler. So what does Gavin do when he rolls his four-wheeler? Tell him what you did. When I went over and was trying to like, dude, what's up?
I just push it off.
He was on the gas. He was revving the gas.
Wait. When I was flipped over? No, I was not.
You were revving the gas until we got you out, and then we rolled it back over.
I was never revving the gas.
We rolled it back over onto the wheels, and Gavin took off again and never looked back. And so you did very well.
I never was on the gas.
Yeah. Says a little kid, right? So
because cut the corner too short, going kind of fast, cut it too short, and there was a tree right there. And I went up like this. Then when I turned, I went this. And then there was oil pouring out of the little, what do you call that? The thing, the overflow.
Look at that. Yeah, we can't say anything yet. So anyway, but it's pretty cool. So someone's going to customize this cage and put in some good head restraint. So Gavin is going to be able to do this cool. We almost went with the bigger four-wheeler, and we decided not. We decided to go with something we can put him, into a safety cage and learn from true experts. And what do you think? Maybe mega trucks for you one day. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. But Jonathan, that was a pretty cool comment there. I appreciate you. Brandon Richards, so you said that. What's up with the Bronco sport? You just I
find them pretty cool.
I mean, Gavin, here, full disclosure, Gavin and I took one through, we took one through Tennessee, right? 2 years ago? Supercell East.
Thing sounded like a trophy truck.
We had it.
It was
in the rut.
At least like 4,000 RPM.
No, not quite 4. It was up there though.
It was like at least 3 then.
So in different modes, it changes your RPMs, right?
Yeah.
So Gavin and I were on a rut. The ruts were made by the larger Broncos, and this little thing was digging, man. It was scraping. It was beating up the badge plates, but we were out of there. And they told us drive right down the path and keep going. Don't stop, because if you stop, obviously you lose momentum and you're out. Terrence Mooney, what is going on? Here we go. Cody, great point. Hans device. So there's a similar device. And right now I'm drawing a blank. I was trying to think of it when I saw your comment. It's not a Hans device, but it's similar. And it, it attaches to the helmet.
Honda's device.
To the neck brace, and it holds the helmet to the neck. So Gavin will actually have a cage.
That VTEC, whatever it is.
Gavin will have a cage that will protect him from, a lot of the stuff. He'll also have head restraint. And he's going to learn by true professionals, that's for sure. So we're going to try to get going there. Let's see. I'm going in 60. The Bronco Sport Badlands is awesome, very capable. Don't sleep on it. I hear you. So we actually drove a Bronco Sport Badlands in Townsend in the ruts. And I mean, look, it's not the same. We get it as a 2-door, 4-door Bronco, but in its class of vehicle, it is pretty daggone awesome, right? Yeah, I mean, it does get it, so I'm good there. Terrence Moody, good to see you here tonight. I definitely appreciate you tuning in as well. And we're going to get right to Becky's video. Now, I want some feedback on this. I want you to think oil catch cans or oil separators. What is your thoughts on oil catch cans and separators? And look at there.
Please delete that.
Yeah, we're going. Terrence Moody, 12/19 build date. You know what? That is absolutely awesome. That, for anyone out there that needed a build date, it was you. 12/16. It's got to be exciting. You've been there since, well, darn near the beginning, and you've been waiting and waiting.
12/19.
What'd I say? 12. It's 12/19.
You said 16.
12/19. Okay, I'm trying to speed it up for him. Who knows? Let's see. Cody said, from mountains to metal. But Cody, what's up? Yeah, Cody, what's going on? I remember talking to you now. I was half frozen when I talked to you, so it was pretty cool. I hope you're enjoying. Pretty cool. No, it was actually pretty cold. But enjoying your hat tonight. I decided to wear this tonight, and everybody on IG, if you get tired of this angle, feel free to head over to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, right? And what are you doing? You all right, man? You're over there making all kinds of noise.
I'm just...
And Jonathan Falls, Merry Christmas, Terry. Let's see, Terrence, what do you think? Yeah, look, Jonathan, I know what you meant. Terrence. So, Terrence, that's awesome. It's so cool. I mean, that's your build date, who knows when you'll get it. We're going to go through a story tonight that may affect that, right? Gavin, you want to talk about your lovely, beautiful mother doing a video we're getting ready to show?
Yeah, she did
You might want to.
She's like.
All right, here we go. You ready for this? Let's start this. Now, I want to get your opinion on this. So, well, we don't need to go into the intro. Let's get right to literally the nuts and the bolts of this. So, Becky put her oil catch can in her Bronco, and let's start a little. We're not doing watch the whole video. We're just going to skim over it. I just want to get your input on this.
Look at that. It's even engraved.
You're muted.
Nice.
And the cool thing is we took a field trip to their shop and we got to.
All right, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I was trying to get the audio. It's not playing over there. Let me know if you can hear it or not, by the way. Over on Becky's video. Why don't you head over and see if you can hear it there, bud? Oh, let's see. Could you hear that when I just played that? Anyone? Huh? Okay. Let's see here. Let's head on back to Becky's there. So let's see if we can hear it.
See them engrave these. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
So in the box, we have the oil catch can or separator.
All right. So anyway,
and the bracket.
I want to talk over this a little bit. So the J&L OSC, it's a very, very easy install as far as oil catch cans are concerned. You have the bracket, you line the logo on the bracket up with the logo on the can, and there's 2 screws and 1 bolt, and it bolts in. It's very easy. It's a very solid piece too when you hold it for its size. It has a little bit of weight. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not heavy, but you know, it's not like paperweight. So you can really feel there's a good quality there. You can also, we did the 3.0 can, which is 3 liquid ounces. You have the option of going up to 6.0, so you can do that. But let's watch a little bit more of our video here.
Which is also engraved with the company's emblem, J&L OSC.
All right, let's
and
speed
it's got
this on
the
up
nuts
to
and
where.
bolts. I should line the holes up properly.
So you put the bracket. You can try our channel over there.
An outlet, maybe.
All right. So now I don't know if you can hear me or not. But yes. Okay. You're saying you can hear it. No. Yes. Terrence said no. And then yes. So anyway, if you're looking at that, you know, Shelby's, from what I understand, Shelby GT500s come with an oil catch can in the trunk. Now, the purpose of an oil catch can, in theory, now, do you need one? That's between you, your Bronco, and your dealer. But here's why, in theory, you need one. So you have blow by the piston, right? Especially under boost, and you're creating vapor in the crankcase. So that's going to atomize the oil. Different type oils atomize different than others. So some has more vapor than others. And also when the crankshaft is spinning and sloshing through the oil, it's going to atomize. It's going to, you know, turn sort of a foaming, frothing kind of effect up into the crankcase. Now, all this turns into a vapor. So the PCV system, using the negative pressure of the intake, draws through that valve as long as you're not under boost. Because when you're under boost, now your intake's under positive pressure. So under normal driving, under normal driving, you're actually pulling vapor out of that crankcase or out of the valve cover that's on the passenger side. So the purpose of this is to keep it from going right back into the engine on intake valve. We've talked about this extensively, but you know, there's people out there that swear you don't need it, and some say, well, because it's dual injection on the 2.7, you don't need it. You know, I think the reason why the 2.7 does really good with the vapor, and we're testing it right now, by the way. We have the mileage when we installed it, and we're checking it periodically. I think you're going to be surprised with it. But what happens is moisture, temperature, barometric pressure, the type of oil you use, the way you drive it, and the way you drive it is a telltale sign in the MPGs, by the way. The lower the MPG, probably and this is my theory, no one else's, by the way, just mine only. If you have low MPG, meaning if you're in the 14s with a 2.7, you're driving it hard, you're probably going to have more vapor or more condensed vapor, so liquid into the catch can, don't you think?
Yep. And
because you're creating more boost. Yes, sir. Okay.
Sorry to cut you off, but Manaleo, Duane, I sold my Bronco. I got a 23 Cactus Gray Badlands on order. Quick question: is that Sasquatch or non? Just want to know.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, Gavin had a great question.
Sasquatch and
Sasquatch, non-Sasquatch, and let's see. So my 23 Cactus Gray. So I love the Badlands. I think as far as capability,
love Cactus Gray.
Cactus Gray is awesome as well.
Wish you got Cactus Gray instead of green.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, tell your mom that. Jonathan said, "Don't understand why they don't install these from the factory." Gavin, why do you think they don't install these from the factory?
Don't know.
You don't know? Okay, so anyway, I have no idea. It is a serviceable part too, but that doesn't mean that when you're getting your oil change, it's not in the instructions. Oh, by the way, change the can. Now, I can't recommend you get one because, who knows just why, but the bottom line is every engine out there driven hard is going to have more blow by than one just idling down the way. Are you imagining things or what?
There's a spider web hanging down.
Yeah, well, no one could see it, I guess, because I didn't see it here on the camera.
It's annoying.
But yeah, I don't understand why they don't install them.
It's like taking the light and glare. I'm like, All
right, let's go back. Let's go back to this video. We're going to watch the rest of it here, and then we need to jump into some more content here. All right. So, tightening one bolt there.
The guys at the factory told me just to snug this in place, not totally tighten it. Button on the back side.
And you can see the PCV system. So that's the end of the hose on the intake. And then you have one on the exhaust. And then we've got to
disconnect the second one, which is right here. The second side, rather. Okay, so that was easy. They're right so far. Okay, so then.
So I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but anyway, on the video that I was just showing, I don't think I shared it right. On the video showing that the PCV system comes off of the intake, goes to technically from the valve cover to the intake, and so basically the JNL OSC oil separator goes right in there. It makes it very easy. If you haven't seen it, just check it out. It says accountant plus oil catch can, what could go wrong? That's the title of the video. You can check it out here as well. So we're going to stop screen sharing on that. Now, Gavin, let's see. Cody, I'm pretty sure they recommend to replace a PCV valve with every oil change or every other. Here, pull that comment up. Yeah. So no, the idea is to keep the vapor out of the intake, right? So, when you're under boost, that valve's going to close and keep the pressure from going back into the crankcase. But the thing about, you have two intake valves in the 2.7 as well as the 2.3. But you have two intake valves, and the idea is that with port injection, and I've had people say, if you have port injection, you don't need it. That's not, even with some of the old school where you had port injection only engines, still would build up. It would still get the coking on the intake valves. Now, why is that important? I'm actually going to do a little video on this on YouTube, a little short video where it shows a valve that is coked up pretty bad, and you can see how it would affect airflow. If you think about flow benches, intakes, even intakes, but mainly heads are put on flow benches to get the exact right amount of air into the intake port and across the valve into the cylinder. Well, think about that. You've spent all that time, all that energy to try to get it right. And then suddenly, now after say 100,000 miles, you're getting coking up on the of oil onto the intake valve. Now, I will say this: Ford has done a very good job on this 2.7, the second generation, of keeping the vapor down. Now, there's not anyone that I know really talking about it. I have a theory on it, by the way, if you're watching this. The theory I have is the variable capacity oil pump. Early on, there was a lot of people complaining about this oil pump because it's belt driven. So there's a rubber belt that drives this pump. Now, this pump is variable capacity, so it's able to change the amount of oil that you're delivering to the engine. Now, the reason why that's a significant issue is because the oiling system in the 2.7 is a lot different than most engines. There are other engines with the technology, and that's where you're spraying oil on the bottom of the piston. The purpose of this is to draw some of the heat through the piston, especially when you're building boost. Now, the higher the compression, the more heat you have and things like that. So the need for the amount of oil volume around the crankshaft is a lot less. It's not slinging up through the cylinders. It's being sprayed on the bottom of the piston, which then coats the cylinder. And of course, the bearings and everything else is in the oiling system. My theory is that because the variable capacity oil pump creates less frothing of oil, and that's less vapor, which is why you have less going into the intake. That's just my theory. I could be totally wrong, and I have been plenty of times. But anyway, I don't know what your theory on that. Tell me. I would love to know from there. Here we go. Jababo. Is that Jababo? Gavin, what is that? Sometimes I...
Jababo. It's Jababo.
Jababo. Tell me if we're saying it right. I don't want to mess it up.
However you want to say it.
Thanks for all the great info on how these engines are set up. I'm getting a 15.8 on the 2.7 around town. Drive like granny, 18 on the highway. Okay. Have you changed your... is your tire size different? Have you changed your rim and tires? Just curious. Have you gone to a bigger tire or done something like that? Bronco Do, what is going on, my friend? What is happening? Haven't talked to you in a while. Good to join us. Hope you're enjoying that fancy new Bronco that you have. All right. I'm at 1,100 miles. How soon do you think I should change the oil? Wait for 5. Okay. Well, there again, look, I can't recommend to you anything here, but I can tell you what I did. At 20, was it 2,000 miles on the 21? Anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500 miles, I changed the oil. Now, a lot of people say that's ridiculous. You shouldn't do it. When we did it, we totally expect it's normal when you pull the filter out. If you go kind of digging through the filter and pulling each pleat apart and looking, you'll see little chunks of metal in there, in particular aluminum. And that's very normal. As a matter of fact, what I saw in ours, I was super pleased with, because engines that we've built, whether it's race engines, street rod engines, hot rods, or stock, there's less metal, less debris in the filters in this new 2.7 than I've ever had in my engines. And it just happens. So I like getting it out as soon as possible. So what we did was change the oil at 2,500 miles, between 2 and 2,500 on both. And then every 5,000 after that, that's what I'm doing, because I just don't, I don't like going long periods of time on the oil. I mean, not all oil is created equal, but one thing that you can definitely do is changing it periodically every 5,000 miles. In my case, that's what we've come up with. So you have a stock Badlands. Let's get back to your deal there. Pull this comment up. So Jababo, you have 1,100 miles. How soon do you think I should do the oil change? So we just answered that. So by the way, at 1,100 miles, your average is still going up. Now, one thing that we did a personal test on with our Broncos, we get better gas mileage. So we have 2 Badlands, both with 2.7, by the way. One is getting 19.8 mpg, and one is your mom's 20.5, I think now.
No, 20. It was 20 on the dot earlier.
Oh, it's 20 on the dot. Okay, so they fluctuate a little bit, but basically 20 mpg on one and 19.8 on the other. The funny thing is, I ease my foot on the gas and drive like I'm 150 years old in my 2021 Bronco. But Becky, she drives good. She's a good driver, but I mean, she accelerates a little bit more, right?
At least 300.
300 years old?
Somewhere around.
All right, cool. Unless I'm in the Mustang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I turn
God,
my
you'd be like,
yeah. So
doing burnouts on the red light. I mean, not from.
yeah.
Not that you.
Yeah, I don't do that on the street, boy. Come on, man. Just in the garage here,
Sure.
private property. But anyway, yeah. So we seriously, all joking aside, Becky sticks her foot in hers a little bit more, and she's getting around that 20 mark. So I think what happens is it took us about 4,000 or 5,000 miles for that average to make it there. We also did it with 93 octane and not 87 octane. That's just what we experienced. So I don't know if that matters. But it might matter there. Let's see. Terrence Mooney going to eat dinner. Terrence, thank you for tuning in. Nice chatting with you. I hope all is well, and let us know when you get that Bronco. If you're on IG or Facebook, send me a picture of it. I can't wait to see it. Let's see. I'm going in 60. Let's see. I'm getting 16 MPG in the 2.7 and easily 18. The question is, how hard are you driving it? I don't really know. So these engines in the 2.3 and the 2.7, which I want to update you on one thing. Hang on a minute. Kind of rude to call for the mic on.
Yeah.
I found out that in the new Mustang, in the 24 Mustang EcoBoost, Gavin, when we were in Hart Plaza, we were talking to someone there with Ford. It appears that the 2.3 EcoBoost Mustang is going to be dual injection. Have you seen that? So I haven't seen it in writing yet, but I was told it was going to be dual injection. If that's the case, it's a game changer for even the 2.3. But the 2.7 is dual injection. So we're talking, the reason why we're talking about this is oil catch cans. Are they needed or are they not? That's between you, your Bronco, and your dealer. But we decided to install them because any oil vapor that I can keep out of the intake and off the intake valves and the cylinder is good for me. And every ounce I pull out of that can is just going to make me feel that much better because I know where it didn't end up. You want to move on? Let's go from there. Let's see. Hold on, everyone. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Gavin, I don't know what you're watching there. We are going to screen share here. Let's pull something else up. Hang on, everyone, while I get this done. Oh, let's see. Now, this is one right here that we have to show you. Okay. So let me head on back over the StreamYard, and here we go. So this is, and no political comments, please, because, we get everybody upset. But the only reason I brought this up is because of the pending and hopefully averted rail strike. Now, why does this matter to you? Someone like Terrence that has a build date, of 12/19, that gets into, okay, well, you're looking at the first of the year for it arriving. First couple weeks of January, depending on the part of the country it's going to, depending on a lot of stuff. The reason why this would be such a messed up deal is because we already have this frail economy, right? And we have commodity constraints. You remember, what did we wait on our 22 Bronco? Was it the top or what?
It was, I believe,
top and something else, and also the chip. Right? Remember the climate control? What's different about the climate control?
It doesn't show it on the dial. And the blue one, the 21, it shows it on the dial, like on the little screen. But on the 22, they still have the little screen, but it's blank. And it just shows it on the big screen. Right. So that was a chip. So they held back on some chips there. And I know other vehicles had much more than that. That's not significant. And honestly, we don't care either way. I mean, we could care less. It's just something to note. It's different between 21 and 22. But if you think about this, if we had a rail strike, what would that do to the commodity shortage? And this article, by the way, is over at the Ford Authority. I highly recommend you check them out. Good website. Great website, actually. Jim Farley was talking about, I think he said the automakers like Ford have been playing what CEO Jim Farley refers to as a game of whack-a-mole. So they get one thing taken care of or resolved and something else pops up. And this is, once again, you're getting supply chains working better, not great. You're getting them better.
And then suddenly now we have, okay, if you can build them, you can get your parts and build them, and you can get them to the lot, the rail yard, but now we might not be able to ship them. And so it looks like, I don't know if they've put a Band-Aid on it or not. I will tell you, I wish they could get our real estate team involved because I guarantee you we could negotiate a deal. This right here, by the way, it's not manufacturer, or it's, in this case, it's not rail company or union, and you pick your side or whatever. I mean, this is just a breakdown of people negotiating, right? There should be it should be easy. That's just what I'll say. It's not one side or the other. It's just a breakdown negotiation. Well, unfortunately, most people don't know how to negotiate. But in this case here, I hope that everybody gets what they want in this deal. And I just hope that Congress did put a Band-Aid on it for time being, so that right here before Christmas, with everything that people are waiting on, doesn't get jacked up. Mm-hmm. And also your Broncos keep coming to you. So that is all we're going to say about that one, Mr. Gavin. But yeah, I hope everyone just understands that something like that is just, really messed up. So, let's see here. What's up? Bronco dude. Let's see what he says here. I'm getting 13.7 or 17.1 MPG with the Everglades. Oh, that's absolutely awesome. Congratulations, by the way. Let's see. I've seen talk about Ford bringing back the Ranchero. Has anyone else seen this? No, I haven't. But I'm going to 60. If you think about something, you think that the Maverick would have been the perfect vehicle to hold that name, mm-hmm. right? Ranchero, pickup truck kind of looking little thing. I don't really know. Yep. Oh, Dirk Connor had a good question here. So, Bronco dude, how are you liking the Everglades? I would love to know your feedback on that as well. Good question, Dirk. Yeah. So Bronco 78 said he's seen it as well. So who knows? I mean, Ford's been rolling out these old names and nostalgia a little bit over the last few years. The Mustang, for once, though, is changing. The Mustang's moving from more of that retro design to more of the sleek look. And some people say it looks like a Camaro. Some say it looks like a Charger. I don't agree. It looks like a more streamlined looking Mustang, whereas it appears to me that they didn't lean on the nostalgia, trying to make it look like a 67, 68 anymore. And they're trying to make it look like its own deal. And so, look, I'm cool with the new design, especially on a Dark Horse. When you see that thin, the tires that are, the width of the tires on that, it was pretty sharp, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. The front, for the first time ever, the EcoBoost in the GT, and of course, any special trim is going to have a different nose on it. So the EcoBoost will have its own nose. None of that matters with the engine or anything or whatever we're talking about, but it's just a note that Ford's kind of bringing some of the old names back, but making it look like something now, except the Bronco. The Bronco does have the characteristics of that first gen out there. So they really did good on that one. But like the Maverick, doesn't look like any other Maverick that's ever been built. So you can understand that. Let's see here. I'm going to 60. Just ask a question. Pop that up here. Already love the S650, but waiting on the Ranger Raptor. I hear a lot of people are super excited about the Ranger Raptor, especially after they performed so well in the Baja. Was it a Baja 1000? I think it was. Mm-hmm. Pretty epic. The video that Bronco did on his Everglades badging, I did not, but I do need to look that up, by the way. Hey, and everyone, don't go anywhere. I have some really, really cool stuff to talk to you about, especially right here on Instagram. I want to thank a lot of you in just 1 second. Let's head to the next video. Yeah, I'm going to check into the Ranchero thing. This one, I would love to tell you, totally blew by me here. Tonight, I did promise a little brief description of our interview with Tyler Mason. We did that, 3 weeks ago or so, give or take. Tyler has this really, I know he was over on the Bronco Nation tonight. He has this really great deal going to where it's Wheeling for a Cause, and highly recommend it. I think it's wheelingforacause.org. Go to the website, donate if you can, check it out, see if it interests you. If you can go, if you can't go, maybe hit that donation button. Either way, anytime we can help people that that need it, we definitely need to lend a hand when we can. That's no stranger to me. I love helping folks out, and so it's a great feeling. Bird Dog Overland, hello. What is going on? Thanks for joining us, by the way. Haven't chatted with you in a while. So you want to pull up this other video? Anything you want to talk about, Gavin? Bronco related?
Not really.
Not really. So you're a man of few words.
I'm doing something right now.
Tyler's getting all kinds of press tonight here, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. All right, back to good old StreamYard. I think we're going to melt the system now. So this is pretty wild. You'll see us on the side and then a split screen there. I want to play a little bit about this. I know you've seen it. You've heard it. Just a couple seconds of it. I just want to remind everyone it's such a great cause. And then I want to tell you the big IG news in the video that we had that went totally epic. Don't go anywhere. Give me just a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and hit play on this, Mr. Gavin. You ready? I don't want to say in the need, but you found something that wanted to make you contribute and give back and help someone. And so what's the story on Wheeling for a Cause?
Well, there's one thing that I've learned over the last year, and that is it's this whole sport, if you want to call it, it's more than that. If you go back to what you talked about with that video that Ford released, the whole thing about the Bronco is it creates a sense of community, right?
Yeah, right.
I've made more friends over the last year by going to events, going wheeling with people, and it's something about when you spend a day out on the trail with individuals that creates these lifelong bonds. But yes, I've been driven towards wanting to do something to give back. But it's not just me. It's been, Talon that works for me and Austin Bracken at Bracken Machine. They're a key part of our parts. I mean, honestly, I've had the ideas and I can get it to a point, and they've been able to take it further, and they've been very passionate about it. Austin and Johnny at Bracken Machine have done similar type of stuff for friends of theirs that had quadriplegic and couldn't do stuff. So they've done some builds. And so we've had conversations this whole year. And then as opportunities came up, the first one was, they had actually found this little girl in Preston, Idaho that had spina bifida, and Talon's heartstrings were just tugged at when he saw all these other kids were running and playing, and she couldn't do the stuff a normal kid. And so then we all had a conversation, and I thought, let's take a Bronco, one of these, battery powered ones that make it adaptive where she can run it with finger controls because she doesn't have the use of her legs. And this whole time I've wanted to do some stuff that we can give back to our veterans. Like I was telling you before the broadcast, we live here in a part of Texas that I'm blessed to be around a lot of retired veterans and a lot of.
So there you go, everyone. So that's pretty cool. So Tyler Mason over at Bronc Buster, he's doing some really cool stuff. And, you hear the story about the little girl with spinal bifida, and she couldn't, play and do stuff. And then to get this little Bronco and do stuff like that, it just warms the heart. So head on over to wheelingforacause.org and check out the website. Donate if you can. I think it's a great cause, and I definitely appreciate helping out if they can. I can tell you right now, it's a pretty cool deal. All right, let's go back through this here. Bronco Dude said, here we go. Dirk, I absolutely love the Everglades from the 2021 OBX with the leather. Everglades was such an upgrade. It drives great. The MGV is top notch. I agree with that. And doors feel more solid. Why would you think the doors feel more solid, Gavin? Sound deadening, right? Sound deadening materials that come with the sound deadening? Maybe.
But about that time I had to finish up homework because
don't go to well, here, you got to stay for this part though.
I'm tired.
All right. So today, this morning around 10 a.m., we had our first video right here on IG. Our first video hit Don't show that yet. That's for.
I'm not showing that.
Yeah, I want to let you. I want to let you read that number here. That's actually your deal. So this morning at 10 a.m. we hit just over 1 million views. There's a very cool car. There's a car collector in our area, has a bunch of really cool, very awesome cars. By the way, I'd love to have them on the show sometime. Anyway, this particular one was the National Lampoon's Vacation station wagon, the old family truckster. 79.
Honky lips.
Don't say that, man. That's written on the side, and you don't even know what that means. So sorry about that, folks. It actually written on the side, and I didn't film it. Everybody's been asking about it, but I filmed the driver's side. But anyway, so it's a 79 LTD, that really beautiful green with, the wood paneling on the side. The gas fill is in the hood, even though really it's in the back. If you look at the detail on it, they have the dog leash around the bumper, and they even have old Aunt Edna there up on the roof wrapped up. So I wanted to show that video here tonight, but I couldn't. But anyway, it hit 1 million this morning around 10 a.m. And Gavin, read that number as of 7:20. What's that number?
8:15.
Oh, 8:15. I'm sorry. I wrote it down.
1,140,702 plays as of 8:15 p.m. tonight.
So there's two things I want to say about it. Yes, one, I'm humbled about that, and I appreciate everyone on IG and anyone else. If you're watching right here on YouTube,
So,
Facebook, Twitter, or on IG.
Approximately about that would be approximately
What? Come on.
57 minutes ago.
Yep.
Couldn't think.
That was a long time to figure that one out.
I
But anyway,
know.
so if you're on IG right now and you're watching us and you subscribe to us because you watched that, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That was at Coastal Virginia Auto Show. No, it wasn't our car. It was a car there at the car show, and we definitely appreciate being invited inside and to that car show. It was pretty cool. Gavin is out of here for the night. Appreciate it. Good night, sir.
I fell.
Gonna say good night to everyone and take your computer so you can finish
Good
your homework.
night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Sorry, he's like delirious now. I think you need to go finish your homework and go night-night, huh?
Yeah. Doing a video soon. Well, if he doesn't want to, I am at least. I'll convince him.
Oh, you want to stand up, look in the camera? Because the only thing they can see is a little bit of your head.
And yeah, so stay tuned. Go ahead and
Hey,
if you're feeling generous, you can go to
wheelingforacause.org.
Sorry, my brain's fried right now. Long day.
All right, go finish your homework and go
Wheeling for a
night-night.
Cause, if you're feeling generous, donate a little bit to help a little girl with her problem.
All right. Good night. Good night, sir.
Good night.
All right, appreciate it. Anyway, Gavin's, 11 years old, man. Sometimes he's like, hey, everybody, Bronco 78, Dirk Connor, Bird Dog, Overland, everybody. And Bronco Dude said, good night. So anyway, thanks, by the way. I was looking over here on IG. Jason and Bronco Elizabeth, hello. Thanks for saying that, by the way. We are broadcasting on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and actually 3 different Facebook pages. So wherever you're watching this right now, I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, and tonight we're gonna probably finish up talking a little bit about the catch can, and we're also going to talk about service. Now, I do want to share something. Let me finish. Let's see. Let's get rid of this right here. If you take your vehicle in for service, if you have a maintenance issue, you have a recall, or if you take it to the dealer for an oil change, the wait times depend on your dealer. Depends on their workforce, how many technicians they have. It also depends on the problem that you have, because not all technicians work on all aspects of the vehicle. So there's a report. Cox Automotive did they did this article where I want to try to bring this up. I have several. Oh yeah, this is actually it. So we're going to switch back over here. They did an article where they looked at revenue versus volume of repair in the service department, right? So in franchise dealers, so that's the software that they use and are able to help keep track of that. So if you're taking a franchise dealership, this is, a Ford, Mercury, Chevy, Dodge, whatever. The dealerships that are franchised through, the manufacturer, so to speak, they track the repairs. And what they're finding, and well, let me just show you the article here instead of just telling you about it. So, and this is from Cox Automotive. Head over there. Great website, by the way, if you want to be in the know and find out something before you hear it here on YouTube. Well, it's a good chance you'll find it out right here. Service activity increases while revenue sees modest decline. Now, the revenue part of it sort of, that's may or may not be in your wheelhouse, may or may not be concerned about that. But service activity increases would directly affect you if you have a vehicle under warranty. You're looking at maintenance, you're looking at tires, rotation, 5-tire rotation, by the way. Or if you're looking at a recall, maybe you have one of the affected Broncos where you have to get the drive shaft replaced, or maybe you have the child safety lock that has to get looked at, or what about the windshield, right, that needed to be resealed. Any number of things. Now, the windshield, more than likely, they're going to call an outside vendor in, but I guess the dealer, theoretically, some may do it themselves. But if you look at the activity increases mean less bays, less places for your vehicle to be worked on, less people to do it. We're already at a labor shortage. We've been dealing with labor shortages for 20 years or more. It's just now in the last few years become, a sore subject with a lot more people. But if you've been in the home services business, real estate, building, trades, you've known it for years. Expectations and things like that. So cars are getting, I guess, in one aspect, easier to work on because you're able to plug modules in, testing, put it on diagnostics. Even in EV, believe it or not, there's probably less moving parts. However, more skills needed maybe to work on some of the newer ones, right? So now there are some new ones that are harder to work on, period, because there's more stuff underneath the hood, more emissions, more efficiency, fuel efficiency stuff. There's nothing like a 60s or early 70s American-made car. One of the easiest things to ever work on. But what I mean by easier is if you take all of the pollution controlled stuff that started in the late 70s and into the 80s. The 80s was considered this convoluted kind of a thing underneath the hood of a car between air pumps and the new vacuum systems and all that good stuff. And you move into the 90s, and there again, I don't think it got much better. But at least now for diagnosing problems, you've got modules, you've got different testing machines, and different manufacturers have their own little deal. So the bottom line here is you have less people, maybe technicians, able to work on your Bronco. And what if you have a significant issue? What if you have a transfer case issue, transmission issue? Heaven forbid the engine's out. Not everyone there can work on that. So your wait time. So if you need service, go ahead and make that call to your dealer, get on the schedule. If they can get you right in, great. But it may be 2 or 3 weeks. So our dealer, who we absolutely think they're the best in the world, they got us right in for for a state inspection I needed because that was time sensitive. Sorry about that, folks. It was time sensitive. However, the drive shaft had to be ordered. The front drive shaft has to be ordered, and that's part of the recall for the boot in the front. Well, it came in, and then they reset the appointment. Worst thing in the world is set an appointment when a part's supposed to be there, and then the part's back ordered or something doesn't make it or something's wrong, and then you have to cancel and start. So they did the right thing. We're able to run it and drive it. Doesn't affect me daily. And then my second appointment set up. They're going to look at that and also the squeaking seatbelt in the back, which we're actually going to do a video on that one before. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because if, in fact, franchise dealerships are getting busier, that's going to affect you if you have to go to the dealer to get something worked on, right? So you're going to have to make sure that you schedule, have plenty of lead time. Now, if it breaks, it breaks. And no one can schedule that. It just happens. But if you look at some of this article here, service activity increased while service revenue decreased. I don't really know why the decrease in revenue, other than it just could have been, if you're increasing, let's see, you're back to school, back to work, vacation's over with. Maybe a lot of this is tires and oil changes and not major engine repairs, major tune-ups. I don't really know why it would decrease. Could it be because parts aren't available? and they're sending them back out, with not all of the repairs done. So you've got the people in there, they can't get all the parts, but it's runs and drives, and they send them on their merry little way until the parts come in, and then maybe the revenue then would pick up the next month when the parts come in, they come back to get the part. I have no idea. But either way, the reason why it's relevant tonight is if you have to take your Bronco to the dealer, just keep in mind that the time may be increased a little bit. So let's jump right back out of that. And, I think dealers for the most part they're doing the best they can with the workforce, right? The able body, willing, able, ready to go technicians. And then you also have, the older cars on the road. So less new inventory historically we've had in the last year has caused people to drive their existing cars longer. So the repairs go up, more cars in the shop, more cars sitting there, less new cars in to be inspected, cleaned up, and sent out for sale. And then some of the new cars have an issue and they come back for service. So I just think it's thrown the balance off. And so the idea that you have, sorry, I need to reconnect my phone here. The idea that you have people trying to save or extend the life of their vehicle while they're waiting on a new vehicle is starting to break, because inventory is starting to free up or build. But then at the exact same time, inventory is going up. Now interest rates are going up. So some people are not going to buy the new vehicle that finally came in, because now, let's face it, between the price of the vehicle, if there's an ADM from the dealer, and on top of all of that, the interest rates are higher, it may keep people back in that same vehicle that they've been putting Band-Aids on. So the more vehicles that are kept on the road, the longer, the more they need, the chances are your dealer is going to be busier. Chances are your new Bronco, if you have a recall or an issue with it, it's going to wait a little bit longer. So all of this is relevant because, we're lacking for workers. So, and that's another show, another time. We'll stay out of there. Oh, let's see. Okay. Mobile said, why does your state require a new vehicle to be inspected? I guess because it's built somewhere else, and they just want to make sure it is in fact road worthy for that state. I know where you're coming from that question. I think it's honestly think it's ridiculous, but I guess they want to make sure that what if in manufacturing rims were left loose, or who knows, maybe there was something left loose in manufacturing, and they just want to make sure before it hits the road that new vehicle is not going to lose a wheel or who knows what. You would think that would have been, that would have been done away with years ago in a new vehicle, but it's not. It's still here. So they have to run it through. They do their checks. They put a sticker on it and you drive it out, and that's it. Yeah, I thought most states that require inspections give you first few years off. If they do, it's not Virginia. Virginia requires it to be inspected. Basically, they inspect it, they go through it, it goes to detail, and then it gets sent to the customer or onto the lot for sale. Yeah, and I know a lot of states don't even have it anymore, but Virginia requires the state inspection. I was just a few years ago that we had city stickers. So on top of a state inspection, then you had to pay your taxes on your vehicle, which you still pay, but you got a sticker saying you'd paid your taxes. Now they just ding you in other ways. Java Bo said, PA has emissions and safety starting day one, which is crazy. I agree with that, especially for the emissions and state. More importantly, the inspection stations are addicted to the revenue. Yeah, here's the thing. I always tell everybody about service when we help companies with service. Just because you're in front of a customer doesn't mean they need something, right? Now, there may be something that's coming up or something you recommend. What's a recommendation? It's not a must. But like in the case of tires or brakes, if the brakes are too thin, there's you measure the thickness of the brake pad or the tread on the tire with a depth gauge. And if it doesn't pass, it doesn't pass. But then there's certain things that I think probably get pushed off as, hey, you got to have this. and it might not be a state inspection thing, or maybe you don't need it now, but you need it in the near future. One of the things I always at our company is like, if it needs it, it needs it. Tell them, show them, take pictures, record it, write it down, make sure there's a note of it. But if it's a recommendation that you think based on the last 30 years of experience that it's going to go out, that at least you can recommend it, but make a note of it. So if they don't want to do it next year, the part goes out, there's a record saying you did recommend it. That helps. So everybody says, okay, well, you told me. It makes you look really good at your job, which you are or should be. But more importantly, there is that line between what has to be done and what is recommended to be done. And sometimes they're not. The must and the recommendation are two different things. But yeah, it's, I totally agree. But Bronco dude, I always thought the dealership inspected each vehicle before we're able to pick them up. So I don't know about where you are, Bronco dude, but in state of Virginia, yes, the dealer has to inspect the vehicle. They actually inspect it before it goes over to detailing, before it goes out. And sorry, I've been fighting a cough this week. The first time in 2 years, by the way. Let's see. Getting repair parts is starting to be a challenge. So, Mobile, I'm glad you said that. I said a few minutes ago, the scheduling or frequency of service is increasing, but revenue's down. And I think the revenue could be down because of certain parts aren't available, especially some of the bigger ticket items, maybe engine transmissions, which would be your more expensive part of it, but brakes and tires, hopefully they can get. There's a lot of brands out there, a lot of style tires. Of course, certain cars require certain, temperature or tread style or certain structure in the tire. Brakes, there again, certain, like a Range Rover has roughly a $1,800 brake job on a Range Rover Sport all the way around. And there's only that, recommended. If anything, if you ever put anything on there that is not recommended, then there's obviously no warranty for anything else if you have an accident. So pretty expensive on a Range Rover, for example. But there's different brakes, brands of brakes, different heat temperatures, resistance. Certain brakes are ceramic or non-ceramic. Some heat up more than others, whatever. But you have options. But if you need an engine transmission, you're kind of limited, right? I mean, you could go the remanufactured route or new or, so I'm thinking maybe it's the availability of high ticket items is why revenue's down, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Let's see here. I just missed this one. Find a motorcraft filter that isn't an FL1A at Walmart or anywhere. Yeah, and thank goodness we're good on the air filter or the oil filters in our area here. Yeah, the FL1A is pretty standard Ford filter, the screw-on canister type. We actually have them here at the O'Reilly in our neighborhood. Okay, so Manaleo, when is your Bronco Raptor getting built? I have no idea. No emails or anything. We do have another Bronco that is underway right now, but company vehicle, not for us, but anyway, long story. We're going to do a review on it. We'll talk about that. But I don't know. I have no idea. We actually we got rid of Lux and we went from the beadlock capable wheels down to the standard gloss black, and still nothing yet at all. So who knows? I don't know. Pre-delivery inspection, I'm gone in 60, said yes. PDM or PDI. PDI. Right here. Pre-delivery inspection. Yeah. Bronco dude said I never actually stopped to think about it. So, a lot of us don't. I mean, if you're in the dealership on the sales side, maybe not, but certain people, let's see, certain people may or may not do that. I'm going to go ahead and kill Instagram over here, by the way, the feed to it. So, anyway, hey, definitely appreciate anybody that watched that reel. You were part of the 1 point. Let's see where it is right now. while we're doing this live, let's see where we are live. At 8:15, we were at 1.14. So let's see where it is right now. And by the way, I'm not gloating. I'm actually very happy, and I appreciate everyone that's made this dream for Gavin and I come true to be able to do this stuff each and every week. We are super excited to do it. Actually look forward to Wednesday nights. Sunday nights, we're starting to get a little hectic because, like I said, we were out of town. And let's see, we were out of town and just quite frankly, a lot, Nag's Head or the mountains, and we were rushing back to try to do it. But Wednesday nights are perfect. Love it. Can't wait and look forward to it. All right, here we go. So we have 18. Okay, so 1,153,000. So if you're one of those, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you ever get a chance to check out the Virginia Beach Car Show, I highly recommend you do it. So anyway, making all kinds of noise over here. Sorry about that. Let's go through the comments and let's see what else we're going to talk about tonight before we wrap this thing up. I used to do PDIs for Freightliner on YPS and FedEx package vans in college. That was pretty interesting, I'm sure. Some of the delivery vehicles, of course, that's new, obviously, but some of the delivery vehicles around here, I'm sure, is a challenge to keep on the road. But let's see. Here we go. Let me know if you want me to pop in a Bronco. All right. So let me know if you want me to pop in a Bronco Raptor for you. Let's chat offline. Send me a message, Instagram. Let's finish that conversation. Here we go. I'm gone in 60 said after being pushed back several weeks, the Ford Performance tuner from my wife's 2.3 finally came in. I can't wait to see that video, by the way. And great stuff, by the way. If you're watching this right now, one of the many channels that I like watching is I'm Gone in 60 over on YouTube. It has some good stuff. Check it out. There again, not one of the over the top channels, just straight up good, solid content. So good job on that. So what do we want to talk about tonight? All 30 of you, and I think we went up pretty high tonight. So I appreciate you all being here. Wednesday nights has gotten busy here on YouTube. Obviously, I keep saying that. And I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in over here and checking us out. Greatly appreciate you. New stuff coming up. We have Gavin's little dude that I thought he had proofed, but maybe he didn't feed the proof. I don't know. I still think he did. He forgot. But we have this little mascot ready to go. It's going to be on some shirts, hats, sweatshirts coming up real soon. We tried for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and we missed. So anyway, so we'll get those out as soon as possible and get them on our store. Now, our merch store has two things on there. I should have pulled that up, by the way. And maybe we can pull it up while I'm talking. So we have the one and only Bronco Wild Outdoors vest. It's the only one that exists. So let me go ahead and share this, my friends. I appreciate your time on this. We're doing this on the fly, so why not? See, we're going to stop that. We're going to start the screen sharing here. Let's take you over to our store, drivenwildgear.com. All right, here we go. Let me go ahead. I'm going to actually drop me out in the bottom here and pull it back over. So here we go. drivenwildgear.com. Well, you know that Mustang, I hope, by now. And there's the book, Finding Myself on the Road to Success, $14.95, and that is plus shipping. And let's head over to the catalog and see what we got. We're getting ready to add some stuff. Yeah, we only have the two things. We have stickers, we have the shirts, the hats, sweatshirts. We have some really cool stuff coming. But this right here, we only have one of these. So this is a $100, I think it was $189 retail. Right now it's marked down to $40, extra large. It's a vest. It's pretty cool. And hopefully, if you want to pick it up, there's only one. This is it, drivenwildgear.com. And then also we have the book for sale, which is right here, Driven. Let me get that off of there. And this is not a webinar, by the way, but I do want to show it. Driven. Finding myself on the road to success. Got so many drivens around here. But definitely check out our book. It's a great read. We just launched over on Samcart. Samcart is a platform that enables us to do a lot of other things, sell physical products and digital products. And so we do have the ebook version coming out. That'll be out soon. But the cool hats, shirts, stuff like that, if you want some really cool stuff, and some cool stuff for the Bronco happening. So all of that's in the works right now. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity. I definitely appreciate the opportunity to be able to bring you some stuff like that. Let's see here. Jonathan, never have enough horsepower. Jonathan said, yep, can never have enough horsepower. I definitely agree with that. I would rather get farther than faster. Well, that's kind of the old reliability and torque mantra there, other than horsepower and fuel and speed. But no, I agree. Look, I'm not hung up on horsepower ratings on a Bronco as long as I have the available torque to do what I want to do in it. Now, I know if you there again, what makes this whole Bronco experience cool is maybe you're all about the horsepower, some's all about the torque, and some just want to cruise. Quite frankly, I just don't want to work on it. It's great to have a vehicle that, don't get me wrong, oil catch can. You saw the videos, easy install. The oil change is fun for me, and it's a vehicle I get to show Gavin how to do it and why you do it. Any other little small mods we do is fun. But what I mean is I don't want to start ripping out the suspension and, taking fenders off and taking the entire interior out. It's just not my deal. I'll leave that up to somebody else to do under warranty. And we like the old project. So never enough 330 horsepower tune is better. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Bronco 78 said, don't get me wrong. If I had the funds, definitely change up the engine. Godzilla swap would be awesome. Yeah, Bronco 78, that would be awesome, by the way. And you know what I like about the Godzilla, being that's overhead valve engine? It's a more of a narrow engine. If you've seen a Coyote, you'll know how big and wide that thing is because of the double overhead cams and the degree of the block. I don't know what the degree is. Maybe Mobile knows, Moto knows, but sorry about that. But it's a much wider engine. So the Godzilla gives you more options of putting it in retrofit vehicles without doing major shock tower work or as much shock tower work. I just think it's a less intimidating engine to some as well. But Godzilla swaps, yeah, they are. I'm going to 60 said they're popping everywhere. They are. You see them in old Mustangs. They'll take the front clip and they'll replace the entire front suspension, get rid of the shock towers, do coils, rather upper lower control arms, and then that frees up the square footage for that engine. But I've also there's someone locally, I haven't been able to see it. I've been trying to get some, let me film some of this stuff, message to him. But there's some people out there that are, I think, doing a Godzilla in a 67 Mustang, and I want to see that. That would be very cool. So anyway, I appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you, everyone on Instagram. And if you're watching this and watch our Instagram, thank you for the super successful week that we've had. And thanks for everybody. It's great to go to car shows and see these cars that are collected or built or modified or restored or saved from the junkyard. We've seen in the last few weeks, we've seen project vehicles that don't look like anything you've ever seen. It has old fenders, and then they made a hood out of a sheet of metal and gave it the patina. They beat it with the hammers and sprayed it with a rough paint to give it that rusted pitted feel. And so they're able to use really rusted parts and to make, parts that are supposed to be rusty. And they're able to make this really cool vehicle, this one-off with a different engine and different interior and brakes. And then you've seen Concours style restorations, resto mods, cars with superchargers and turbos on the exact same engine. Now that's like next level. All sorts of just stuff that you can't even imagine. So going to car shows is definitely helpful to everybody. It increases your imagination. Maybe you don't do all that with your vehicle, but it definitely lets you know some of the other stuff that is available out there. Let's see. I'm going to 60. I got to go to order your book right now. Good night, everyone. Well, thank you very much. And I hope you get something out of it. I tell everybody right now, we live in kind of this time to where I appreciate you all being here. We try to keep this positive, especially when Gavin's here. I wish we could do 8 o'clock. That'd probably be better for his schedule. But we're doing 8:30. But we keep this thing positive here. And sure, I could raise, all kinds of decaying over here and do all that and get, stuff started and maybe get more viewers, but that's not our style. That's not what I do. So I appreciate you all being here, and hopefully we don't get to, too kind of relax for you. But we do have some good videos coming up. We actually have a modification to the 21 Bronco getting ready to happen. We have a couple product reviews to do. We just did the J&L OSC. And I want to let everyone know on that. I went to their website to order it because it's not like I ended up with it because we, talked about it. I went to go order it, ended up starting a conversation with them, and we went from there. A lot of these products, you'll see a couple of reviews. If you look at some of my videos, I'm sure you've seen the product in the background. These are things that I use and believe in. And I'm not just out there plugging something that I don't like. So anyway, that's what makes us a little bit different. I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Thank you so much. It's 9:42, made it an hour and 10 minutes or 12 minutes. But I thank you for tuning in tonight. Be safe, be successful this week. And I look forward to next Wednesday. I hope it gets here a little bit quicker this time, and looking forward to it. I'm out, everyone. See you, and thank you very much. Have a great week. Bye.